It is rightly said by English language teachers, linguists, and researchers that reading means meaning. And to get meaning from reading, we require some strategies, whether traditional like read aloud or modern like silent reading. Whatever reading strategies teacher bring in the classroom, one fact is evident that reading strategies are incomplete without teaching metacognitive reading strategies. Hello viewers, I'm Muhammad Ali Khan and this is my first YouTube video. I hope that I will do justice with it. Before looking towards the metacognitive reading strategies, let's have a glimpse on metacognition. Metacognition is thinking about thinking because it is one step ahead of cognition. In cognition, students' understanding is on a very surface level, as you can see here, because students summarize the text. In summarization, students do not go into the depth of a text, whereas in metacognition, students critically analyze the text and their understanding is on a deep level. In other words, they go into the depth of a story. Metacognition stimulates the thinking process of a reader. As you can see here in this case, that the metacognition thinking level is higher than cognition. It shows that the thinking level of metacognition is higher than cognition. Metacognitive awareness is key in proficient reading. So it is necessary for students to follow these steps: planning, then monitor their text, and finally evaluate their story. Now in the second phase, I will tell you or we will go into the depth of these stages. To become successful reader, students must follow these steps: planning, monitoring, and then evaluating. First we will look at planning. At this stage, students exploit their background knowledge. In order to do this, they can preview the text through skimming, which means having a glance on main ideas. It can be a glance on pictures given in the story or glance on the first two lines of each paragraph, or they can read the introduction of the story. Other than this, teacher can ask some probing questions from students so that they can so that their knowledge their background knowledge can be exploited of the readers. Now we come towards monitoring. At this stage, the students self-check their comprehension. In order to do this, they can monitor text by asking questions. They will ask questions by themselves, like what the author is trying to say, what is the moral of the story, what is the theme of the story. It is very necessary for readers to monitor their text in order to get information out of it. Now we come towards evaluating stage. At this stage, students come to know how well they have understood the text. There are many ways for evaluation. One is students can have group discussion after reading the story, or teacher can ask them to write moral of the story or a short critical analysis of the story. It is necessary for teachers to follow planning, monitoring, and evaluating. It is very necessary because if teacher will follow these steps, it will make her teaching easy and students will start taking interest in reading. So that, like in this case, if students are following pre, while, and post stages, students will think about the text, understand the text, and finally reflect on it. Now, in the third phase, we will look at some reading strategies. Now, we talk about pre reading strategy. In it, I will discuss anticipation guide. In anticipation guide, students anticipate about the text or a story. In other words, they guess about it. For example, if we look at this picture and if this picture teacher shows in the classroom, a man is holding a bucket of bananas, what kind of question teacher can ask? Teacher can ask from students, is this man a customer or does business of bananas? Second question, what is the name of these green bananas? When such questions will be asked by the teacher to the students, then they will come to know that what is the topic which they are going to read. But remember, do not give them answers at this stage. Let them guess. They will get the answers by themselves when they will read out. Now we come towards wild reading strategy. In it, I will discuss close reading. In close reading, students read with complete attention. Through this strategy, students can get deeper understanding about the story. How? Let's look at its format. On the left side, in the notes section, students will note down the important lines, the lines which they think will be helpful in the analysis of the story, like I have done in this case. Remember to note down the page number and paragraph number as well. On the right side, they will note down keywords, words that tell about the theme of the story, or tell about what, or tell what the story is all about, like farming, agriculture, flower, Cavendish bananas, ladyfinger bananas. All these keywords are taken from the story of that picture which I showed you at pre-reading stage. Now, after students have completed their reading of the story, ask them to write either the theme of the story or moral of the story. Here I have written the theme of the story, entrepreneurship. Now we come towards post-reading strategy. In it, I will discuss story frames. Instead of using fill in the blanks which are in isolated form, we can use story frames because story frames are sequences of blanks linked by transition words that reflect a line of thought. Now we will look at its format. Teacher can divide story frames into different sections like setting, character and analysis, and so on and so forth. In setting, teacher can make story frames like this. The story takes place in dash, name of the country, or place. I know this because the author quotes. Now, what the author quotes? It can be an organization or something else which gives the hint about the place. Similarly, we can do it with the character analysis. Dash is an important character. Obviously, antagonist or protagonist will be written over here. Okay, he or she is important because dash. The reason why he's important will be written over here. I think dash helped him or her in fulfilling his or her dream. The name of that person who helped him or her in fulfilling his or her dream. Like this, we can make story frames. Now, dear viewers, all these strategies which I showed you and many others are made by different educational organizations, teachers, and linguists. Someday I will make my own. Reading strategies play a vital role in our life, so make them permanent part of your academic life. I hope that this video is liked by my viewers. Thank you for watching it and bye for now.